Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we dive deep into the explosive drama unfolding over the next 2 weeks from October 13th to 24th, where shocking betrayals, budding romances, and a web of deceit promise to keep Port Charles on the edge of its seat. Cody and Molly's budding romance ignites. In the heart of Port Charles, the week of October 13th to 17th brings a heartfelt confession that could redefine loyalties and spark an unexpected love story between Molly Lansing Davis and Cody Bell. Molly, ever the poised assistant district attorney with a sharp legal mind honed from years navigating her family's chaotic dynamics, finds herself grappling with emotions she never anticipated. Despite Cody's shady past where Christina Corinthos Davis once bribed him with a hefty sum to charm and distract Ava Jerome during a turbulent custody battle, Cody has emerged as a pillar of integrity, proving his worth through quiet acts of loyalty that echo his rough upbringing on the rodeo circuit. Picture this: Cody, with his rugged charm and unyielding sense of honor, has sidestepped every temptation, focusing instead on genuine connections that reveal a man shaped by loss, his father's abandonment, and the constant hustle for survival in a world that rarely gave him a fair shot. Molly's path to vulnerability leads her straight to her cousin, Detective Dan DeFalco Neri, whose street-smart wisdom and own history of redemption make him the perfect confidant. In a tense coffee shop rendezvous at Kelly's Diner, Danta listens intently as Molly unravels her fears, her voice trembling with the weight of her high-profile life under constant scrutiny from the Lansing and Corinthos clans. Dante, drawing from his own turbulent romance with Lulu Spencer and the scars of his undercover days, gently reminds her that true character shines brightest in adversity. Cody's childhood, marked by instability and fleeting relationships, hasn't hardened him, but rather forged a resilient soul deserving of unwavering support and deep affection. This heartfelt pep talk and just advice, it's a catalyst, pushing Molly to seize the moment before regrets pile up like unsolved cases on her desk. As whispers of Cody's impending shock circulate, perhaps a revelation tied to his Quartermaine ties, or an old rodeo rival resurfacing, the duo's chemistry crackles during a moonlit walk along the docks. Fans speculate this could culminate in a stolen kiss under the harbor lights, sealing their transition from wary allies to passionate partners, with Cody's protective instincts finally finding a home in Molly's embrace. This storyline not only humanizes Cody, but also explores themes of redemption, showing how past manipulations can't eclipse present authenticity in the unforgiving spotlight of Port Charles society. The Drew Shooter mystery unravels with shocking twists, shifting gears to the high-stakes investigation gripping the town. ABC General Hospital spoilers tease a labyrinth and twist in the case of Drew Cain's shooting that implicates the unlikely list of suspects. Anna Devane, the formidable ex-WSB operative with her keen investigative instincts sharpened by decades of espionage, recently combed through Elizabeth Liz Baldwin's home, unearthing crucial evidence that points a damning finger at Willow Tate. During the week of October 13th to 17th, Anna ramps up her pursuit, zeroing in on Willow with intent to formally charge her for the assault on Drew, a move that stems from a hidden Edward Quartermaine pistol discovered tucked away in Willow's temporary quarters at Liz's cozy Victorian house. This antique weapon, a relic from the Quartermaine patriarch's era of corporate intrigue and family feuds, carries symbolic weight, evoking ghosts of power struggles that have long haunted the Cain and Corinthos bloodlines. Willow, the resilient nurse and mother whose journey from cold survivor to devoted family woman has been a beacon of hope, faces utter devastation upon learning of the accusations. Her world shatters in a flurry of confusion and betrayal, leading her to suspect that her estranged husband, Michael Corinthos, orchestrated the setup to sabotage her fragile custody hopes. Michael's recent impulsive suggestion to reunite her with their children Wiley and Amelia during a heated argument at the Quartermaine mansion now reeks of manipulation, especially since he wandered unattended through Liz's home just hours before Anna's raid, perhaps planting the gun amid stacks of medical journals and baby photos. Delving deeper, this plotline masterfully dissects Willow's psyche. Her post-cancer recovery has left her vulnerable, craving stability. Yet now she's thrust into a nightmare where trusty roads like the crumbling docks. Fans theorize Michael's motives stem from lingering resentment over Willow's affair with Drew. Blending jealousy with a desire to reclaim control in their crumbling marriage, could this be his desperate bid to force reconciliation through coercion? Drew Cain himself, the battle-hardened Navy veteran with a vendetta burning hotter than a Greek summer, seethes at the injustice. Fixated on pinning the crime on Michael for personal and professional slights dating back to their ELQ boardroom clashes. As Drew paces the sterile halls of General Hospital, bandaged and brooding, he contemplates intervening, maybe leaking anonymous tips or confronting Anna directly, but his claims lack concrete proof. Relying on gut instinct forged from years of covert ops, will Anna, ever the skeptic with her analytical mind dissecting every angle like a chess grandmother, credit Drew's intuition without forensic backups? Or will it fuel her doubts about the entire Corinthos dynasty? This tension builds suspense, highlighting how personal biases can derail justice in a town where secrets multiply faster than alibis. Adding fuel to the fire, Nina Reeves faces intense interrogation as surveillance footage captures her slipping out of her Crimson office condo, right at the shooting's timestamp, contradicting her fabricated alibi for Willow. Nina's maternal protectiveness rooted in her own hidden daughterly secrets with Ava drove her to lie, but now the backlash looms, potentially unraveling her media empire and exposing fractures in her bond with Sonny Corinthos. This subplot probes Nina's evolution from schemer to selfless guardian, questioning if her white lies will shatter the fragile peace she's built post-divorce. Christina and Ava's tense alliance forms. Across the shadowy underbelly of Port Charles, Christina Corinthos Davis and Ava Jerome navigate a powder keg reconciliation amid their illicit scheme to detain Rick Lansing in Alexis Davis's dimly lit basement, a hideout echoing with echoes of legal battles and familial grudges. During October 13th to 17th, the duo's attempt to bury the hatchet stems from shared desperation. Christina's impulsive nature, inherited from her firebrand mother Alexis, clashes with Ava's calculated gallery world savvy, yet holding Rick captive, forcing him to confront his manipulative past with Alexis Force's vulnerability. Imagine tense negotiations over flickering candle light, where old wounds from Ava's Jerome crime family legacy and Christina's identity struggles surface, potentially forging an unlikely friendship. Could this evolve into a powerful alliance against greater threats like the Casadines? Or will Rick's silver-tongued escapes reignite their rivalry? This arc richly analyzes female solidarity in crisis, transforming adversaries into confidants through mutual survival instincts. Jen Sidwell and Charlotte's intriguing shadows. On the periphery of power plays, Jen Sidwell reemerges from narrative obscurity during October 13th to 17th, wielding his enigmatic influence, perhaps tied to shadowy international dealings or elk investments, to manipulate a pivotal situation, pulling strings like a puppeteer in Port Charles elite circles. Sidwell's low-key presence, often overshadowed by flashier Quartermaines, hints at deeper machinations. Fans speculate his sway could tip custody rulings or corporate mergers, drawing from his mysterious backstory involving European banking intrigue. Meanwhile, young Charlotte Casadini grapples with a chilling warning that chills her adventurous spirit, sourced from an unidentified foe, possibly Sidwell exploiting her naivety or one of Valentine Casadine's myriad enemies from his spiral days. As Charlotte, the precocious teen with her father's cunning and mother's resilience, mulls a clandestine visit to Valentine in hiding, this ominous message might propel her to affirm a risky decision, like joining a covert op or allying with a new faction. This dual thread examines generational legacies of danger, where innocence collides with inherited shadows, heightening the stakes for the Casadini Empire's future. Nathan's probing questions to Dana. In a nod to enduring bromances, Nathan West returns with pointed inquiries for his longtime partner Dana Falconeri, probing the seismic shifts in Port Charles over his 7 years marked by deaths, resurrections, and scandals that reshaped alliances. Nathan, the steadfast cop whose presumed demise in a fiery explosion left voids, now seeks closure on betrayals like Sonny's empire expansions and the nurse's ball upheavals. Dante, burdened by losses like his coma-stricken love Lulu, may reluctantly fill the gaps during a bourbon-fueled chat at the Haunted Star, revealing how grief and duty intertwined. This reunion not only honors their shared history from rookie days, but also speculates on Nathan's potential role in ongoing probes, bridging past and present with emotional depth. Revelations and romances heat up in week 2. As October 20th to 24th unfolds, Anna Devane's epiphany shatters the Willow frame-up illusion, sparked by a stunning insight likely triggered if Willow or Drew highlights Michael's suspicious loitering at Liz's pre-search, complete with timestamps from security cams. Anna's deductive prowess, refined through WSB takedowns of global threats, connects the dots. Michael's flimsy alibi, riddled with gaps from his Metro Court meetings, mirrors Nina's footage fiasco, inviting scrutiny via similar video evidence from ELQ surveillance. This pivot underscores investigative pitfalls, where haste blinds even the sharpest minds, paving the way for Michael's downfall and Willow's vindication amid tearful family reconciliations. Romance blooms vibrantly elsewhere, with Cody and Molly embracing their flirtatious phase, stolen glances at the floating rib escalating to tender embraces that solidify their bond against familial doubters. Similarly, Giovanni Gio Palmieri and Emma Scorpio navigate the sweet awkwardness of evolving from platonic bandmates to official couple, their violin duets at the rec center turning into whispered promises under starry skies, analyzing young love's purity amid soap chaos. Jason Morgan wrestles a moral quandary, shielding Britt Westburn from Steinmauer's clutches, her Huntington's battle adding urgency versus disclosing to Carly Spencer the truth of Jocelyn Jack's covert WSB involvement in Antica-Sa Dini ops. Jason's loyalty, forged in mob wars and lost loves, weighs the safety of these three women. Britt's resilience, Carly's ferocity, Jocelyn's braver prompting sleepless nights at the cabin. Will Britt, haunted by her 5 poppies resort undercover stint exposing art forgeries, finally unburden herself to Jason, intertwining their fates in a confession that could redefine trust? Next, we will learn about the explosive blunder in the search warrant for the Quartermaine mansion that has fans buzzing with suspicion over Ada Justine Turner's true intentions in the Drew Kane shooting mystery. In the shadowy underbelly of Port Charles, where family secrets and hidden agendas collide like waves against the harbor, Anna Devane's latest investigation into the attempted murder of Congressman Drew Kane has taken a dramatic turn that no one saw coming. The seasoned police commissioner, with her sharp instincts honed from years of unraveling international conspiracies, zeroed in on a crucial piece of evidence: the bullet-riddled gun traced back to the legendary Edward Quartermaine's private collection, tucked away in the opulent vaults of the Quartermaine estate. This revelation wasn't just a breadcrumb, it was a bombshell, pointing fingers directly at the powerful family's inner circle and igniting a frantic push for justice. Anna, ever the professional, didn't waste a moment, collaborating closely with the Port Charles District Attorney's Office to secure a swift search warrant, her mind racing through potential suspects from vengeful relatives to shadowy outsiders lurking in the wings. As the sun dipped low over the manicured lawns of the Quartermaine property, Anna and her trusted partner, Detective Harrison Chase, arrived at the Grand Mansion with the warrant in hand, ready to comb through dusty attics and locked safes for any traces of the weapon that nearly ended Drew's life. The air was thick with tension, the kind that precedes a storm, as they coordinated with local authorities to ensure the search was airtight and by the book. But just as they crossed the threshold into the echoing halls filled with antique furniture and portraits of stern ancestors, disaster struck in the form of an eagle-eyed new resident, Veronica Ronnie Bard, the enigmatic recent beer of the sprawling estate who had transformed parts of it into a modern art gallery showcasing her eclectic tastes. Ronnie, a former art curator with a reputation for spotting forgeries from a mile away, scrutinized the paperwork with the precision of a surgeon, her brow furrowing as she highlighted the glaring discrepancy. The warrant boldly declared the address as 65 Harbor View Road, while the actual Quartermaine abode stood proudly at 66. This wasn't a minor typo. It was a fatal flaw that could invalidate the entire operation, forcing Anna and Chase to retreat empty-handed amid Ronnie's firm insistence that they return only with corrected documents, her voice echoing with the authority of someone who knew the law's fine print all too well. The fallout from this clerical catastrophe rippled through the PCPD headquarters like a shockwave, leaving Anna pacing the dimly lit corridors, her frustration mounting as she confided in Chase about the unprecedented sloppiness. Justine Turner, the ambitious Ada who had personally filed the warrant application, had always been the epitome of precision, a rising star in the DA's office with a track record of airtight cases that left prosecutors envious and criminals trembling. Yet, whispers among the ranks painted a different picture now. Turner spotted at the local boxing gym, her gloves on and sweat glistening, casually dismissing the 65 versus 66 mix-up with the enigmatic grin that seemed more calculated than contrite, as if she were toying with the secret puzzle only she could solve. Fans of General Hospital have latched onto this anomaly, theorizing wildly on social media forums about whether this was mere human error or a deliberate sabotage designed to shield someone close to the Quartermaines or, perhaps even herself, from scrutiny. Adding fuel to the fire, Turner's recent demeanor has shifted subtly, her once ironclad composure cracking just enough to suggest deeper entanglements in Port Charles' web of deceit. Delving deeper into Turner's potential motives uncovers a tangled history that stretches back to a pivotal confrontation at the Corinthos compound, where loyalties were tested and alliances forged in the heat of betrayal. Weeks earlier, as tension simmered between political powerhouses, Turner had slipped into sunny Corinthos' fortified penthouse under the guise of a routine consultation, her briefcase stuffed with legal briefs and her mind sharp on unraveling the mobster's latest dealings. Unbeknownst to her at first, she found herself hidden in an adjoining study when Drew Kane burst through the doors like a man possessed, his face flushed with righteous fury as he cornered Sonny with ultimatums that could topple empires. Drew, leveraging his congressional clout, demanded Sonny relinquish prime waterfront real estate or face the consequences, even dangling the threat of arresting Michael Corinthos over a heated family altercation that had turned physical. Sonny, the unflappable kingpin with decades of surviving worse, held his ground with that signature steely resolve, his words laced with warnings that echoed through the walls. Turner, eavesdropping from the shadows, absorbed every damning detail, the venom in Drew's voice, the raw ambition that painted him not as a hero, but as a bully willing to bend the law for personal gain. This encounter lingered with her, reshaping her view of Drew from a fellow public servant to a potential adversary whose overreach demanded reckoning, a sentiment she later confided to close allies with a steely glint in her eye. This clandestine glimpse into Drew's darker impulses has only amplified the intrigue surrounding Turner's role, especially as her dynamic with Sonny evolves from frosty adversaries to something far more electric and unpredictable. Their initial meetings were battlegrounds of wits, with Turner arriving in tailored suits and armed with subpoenas, clashing against Sonny's world-weary charm and unyielding defense of his territory. Months ago, barbs flew like punches in a ring, her accusing him of flouting justice, him retorting with tales of how the system had failed the innocent time and again. But Port Charles has a way of softening edges, and now their interactions brim with playful banter over coffee at the Floating Rib or lingering glances during late-night strategy sessions, hinting at an undercurrent of attraction that could ignite into full-blown romance. Complicating this further is young Donna Corinthos, Sonny's spirited daughter, who has taken a surprising shine to Turner, viewing her as a role model of strength and intellect amid the family's chaos. Donna's budding admiration, expressed through handwritten notes and eager questions about law school dreams, adds a layer of emotional depth that might pull Turner deeper into the Corinthos fold. Yet, in true General Hospital fashion, these budding connections could be mere smoke screens, as the show delights in flipping scripts and revealing hidden agendas just when viewers let their guards down. If Turner is indeed harboring grudges, the shooting of Drew Kane emerges as a tantalizing possibility for her handiwork, a calculated act of vigilante justice born from that fateful eavesdropping session and fueled by a personal vendetta against corruption in high places. Imagine the scene: Turner, cloaked in the anonymity of night, slipping through the fog-shrouded docks with the Quartermain heirloom in her grasp, her pulse steady as she lines up the shot not out of malice, but a distorted sense of righteousness to punish the bad guys who masquerade as saviors. Her legal background would make her the perfect unseen operator, covering tracks with procedural finesse and alibis woven from courtroom alibis. Fans speculate this twist would humanize her, portraying a woman torn between her oath to the law and the moral gray areas exposed by Port Charles' elite. Perhaps drawing from a fabricated backstory where a family member suffered at the hands of similar blackmailers, adding poignant layers to her revenge arc. Such a revelation would shatter her respectable facade, turning the Ada into an anti-heroine whose fall from grace mirrors the Quartermain's own history of moral ambiguity. And it aligns perfectly with the soap's tradition of elevating unlikely suspects to center stage for maximum dramatic impact. However, the plot thickens with an alternative theory that paints Turner not as the lone gunman, but as a cunning collaborator in a larger scheme orchestrated by the elusive Jen Sidwell, the shadowy financier whose influence snakes through Port Charles' underbelly like unseen roots. What if the address flub was no accident, but a masterful diversion, buying precious time for Sidwell's operatives to spirit away incriminating evidence from the mansion's hidden compartments, perhaps even the matching bullets or forged documents linking him to Edward's old dealings? Turner, with her access to sensitive files and Sidwell's hypothetical promise of insider trading tips or political leverage, could be playing a double game. Her sly Jim smile a nod to their covert pact sealed in whispered phone calls from dimly lit offices. Inventing this alliance adds thrilling dimensions. Sidwell, reimagined as a former Quartermain business rival exiled years ago, might have recruited Turner during a chance encounter at a high society gala, exploiting her disillusionment with the DA's office to enlist her aid in framing Drew as collateral damage in his quest for revenge against the family that bankrupted him. This partnership would explain her uncharacteristic errors while teasing explosive future confrontations, where loyalties fracture and betrayals cascade, keeping viewers on the edge as the true shooter remains shrouded in mystery. In the ever-twisting tapestry of General Hospital, where the least expected character often pulls the trigger on chaos, Ada Justine Turner stands as the prime enigma, her every move dissected by devoted fans eager for the next bombshell reveal. Whether driven by personal fury, romantic entanglements, or clandestine alliances, her involvement promises to redefine alliances and shatter illusions in Port Charles, urging us all to question who we can truly trust in a town built on secrets. Stay tuned for more spoilers as this saga unfolds with heart-pounding intensity.